And the one thing I would say about the reaction of the supporters is because throughout the last sort of 10, 15, 20 years, how long Trent's association has been with the club, he's always stated, I'm just a supporter on the pitch. I want to captain the club. I want to be a Liverpool legend. And Liverpool are on the cusp with Arne Slot of winning the title last season, maybe winning the Champions League this season. Why don't you want more of that?
It shouldn't just be against Real Madrid, because many players do that. When the big games come, there are some players who love the big games and perform in the big games, and it's the little games where you've got to turn up in. You've got to do it week in, week out, which is what top players do.
I think as well that for the last 2 Champions League games, Florian Wirtz has been excellent. And we're seeing the player he can be. He not only with his defensive work without the ball running around, but the smart passes he plays. He always makes the right pass. He knows where the opposite space is. So for me, this could be a moment for him as well, where you're in the Premier League. He struggled. The pace and the physicality has caught up with him a little bit. And he's not the first big money signing. We saw Juan Sebastian Ferran many years ago struggling for Man United. Unbelievable football player, but the speed and the tempo that the Premier League plays at, that sometimes it just doesn't suit him. I think in the Champions League, he's going to be a real part as to where Liverpool can go on, because he just finds these lovely pockets of space. And by the way, Liverpool will get better. We all know they're going to get better, but it is a question mark. I have the same question mark around Chelsea. Why do you get up for the big games, but you lose to a Sunderland?
Well, Chelsea are a young team, that's why I can give you that one. That's the answer for them. They're a bit young. They're not, they've got no one over 30.
I'm not having a Chelsea argument today, but we'll save that for tomorrow.
but do you think that this is a real turning point, Grella, where people are going to kind of forget everything now that's happened, and now people are looking at the Liverpool like Liverpool is back under Arne Slot?
Yeah, I think short term, it's what Nigel first said, that we were all over him for his decision in the Carabao Cup, right? Because lose at home like that, he had a red card, it just looked bad off the end of another skid, inviting in more pressure. But then, when it really matters on a Champions League football night, you beat Real Madrid, you keep yourself to a clean sheet. So I think in the end, the fans are going to grade him at the end of the season and say, okay, well, did we win any silverware? How do we do in the Champions League? How we do in the Premier League? And that's what's going to matter. So this is still early days for Liverpool.
It's a long season ahead. It wasn't quite the return that Trent Alexander-Arnold would have wanted, though, back to Anfield.
Trent's a local boy. He's one of their own, as they would say, and they feel a type of way with the money that they spent. And I said again, for me, looking at Liverpool and the money that they spent, they're making a statement to say we are as big as Real Madrid. But the reality of it is they're not quite there yet. Real Madrid are still the biggest club in world football. They've won the most Champions League. They are a well-decorated football club. And for Trent wanting a new challenge, he didn't go to a Manchester United or one of your actual rivals in the Premier League. He went to another country. And then again, when you look at how he represented the football club, I felt he did well enough as a player and gave his all for what he did for the football club.
So were you surprised then? Is that what you're saying? You were surprised at the reception that you received tonight?
I was surprised it was that loud. I thought there might be a small group, but I didn't expect it to be as loud as that and noticeable as that. And obviously when they're winning, they're obviously gloating to a certain degree that you left us to go to them and now you're losing.
Right.
For me personally, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. And I think that, for me, he represented and respected the club when he represented us. He's gone on to something different. It happens. He's not the first. Steve McManaman left Liverpool to Real Madrid. Michael Owen left Liverpool to Real Madrid. So for me, this happens in football. But for me, I don't agree to that.
Let's just hear what Jude Bellingham had to say after the match, because he was asked about it.
What did you make of your good friend's return tonight? There'd been a lot of discussion about the reception he'd get. You would have heard it when he came on?
Yeah, I heard it, and obviously it's one of those things in football. I think the fans booing isn't a reflection of how they feel about him. I think more, trying to give their team the edge and try and maybe throw him off a little bit. I'm sure they're appreciative of what he done for the club, and obviously he loves the club a lot. I know that from just speaking with him, really. So yeah, it's one of those things can happen in football.
It may be good it's out of the way now, that the appreciation might come in time.
Yeah, perhaps so. I think when he won the league and last year towards the end, they gave him a good send-off from what I saw. So yeah, it's one of those things in football, and I think they were doing a fan's job, I suppose.
Doesn't he, Jude? Let's see what one of our commenters has to say. Karma, Trent is richer sitting on the bench of a weaker team, lost his place in the England team and will have no football legacy because he went to a mercenary club where players are forgotten faster. Well, Del Boy, zero.
Sorry.
Nonsense. Is he making more money?
No football legacy.
Is he making more money at Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a Premier League winner.
I would like to go to anyone, wherever job you work, you're a plumber, electrician, you might be a school teacher, whatever, and I want to go to them and say, hey, listen, we're going to give you
double
30 grand more, I don't know, 40 grand more, and I want to see what they say, what they would say to their spouse, to their partner, to their family, to their kids. Say, no, I love this job so much, I'm not going to take the. I mean, come on, who are we kidding at the end of the day?
Leave, right?
It's a business. And by the way, Troy, when you get hurt or when something doesn't go your way, you have a poor season. These clubs are the first ones to go, he's out. See you later. They don't care. And the week before, they're with your family at these family barbecues. Oh, you're part of the club. Oh, yeah. And then the next week, you rolled your ankle. You're not going to be better for you. Okay, see you later. So when you have the opportunity to do the flip.
Would you leave crew, by the way? If you've got double money, say at another network, would you leave us sitting right here?
In a heartbeat, just smile.
Heartbeat.
Chapter 10 are trying to get me fired this month. Poppy Miller, the author of Poppy Miller.
Production wanted me to ask to see if you would be tempted to greener pastures. So yes or no? They want to know.
100%. 100%. I just explained the conversation, and everybody would. Any human being would. That's the story. That's what it is. I mean, so I get it. And listen, the other thing for Trent is like fans don't boo nobodies, so that's got to feel pretty good. Coming home and be like, they remember me. They know. And also you said that they don't look as good in that position, right? And I agree. So I think a positive night for him.
Yeah, I think as well. Like it's two. Every Liverpool fan has the right to boo, right? Go and enjoy yourself.
Right.
But Trent, when that guy there has just said that, Trent is on the bench, he's been injured. He's now back.
Yeah.
Do you think Trent's going to be in that? Trent's not in the England squad because he was injured. Jude wasn't in the England squad. I guarantee you they're both in the England squad moving forward. It's very short-term bias to be going, Conor Bradley's much better. I would actually challenge you to go and watch 2 weeks ago. Was Conor Bradley good then? And this is not a Conor Bradley comparison, by the way.
If Conor Bradley was that good, Arne Slot would not have put Szoboszlai at right back. Because Conor Bradley was the talk from the back of last season that Conor Bradley's going to take over Trent's place. And I did like Conor Bradley. I think he's a great player, and I still think he is a great player. But the fact that a manager's playing a centre midfielder at right back shows you the manager doesn't have the belief in Conor Bradley to be in that team week in, week out. And the last comment about the football legacy as well. Trent Alexander's won everything at Liverpool. So how do you tarnish his footballing legacy and then go and play for one of the biggest clubs in the world? Like, just let bygones be bygones. Let it go. Like, he's represented your club, did well, he's moved on.
By the way, if you were Trent Alexander-Arnold and you kind of got that frosty reception when you came on, how would you be feeling? Would it be impossible not to kind of hear the noise?
You'd be disappointed, wouldn't you?
He got a lot of frosty reception over where he went. I got a lot of frosty. Yeah, don't even look at me like that. I know you did.
I didn't say a word.
Ask him how his reception was when he went to the Emirates.
How was it, Troy?
It was great. What I was going to say, though, is like you kind of expect that. But that picture behind there sums it up, because that's who he cares about.
Yes,
he cares about his teammates.
But would he have expected it, or would he have thought, well, I'm a bit of a homecoming king today?
No, because he had this for the back end of last year. They were booing him when he was playing.
And then he got that vital goal
against
Leicester, I believe, right? Away from home. He got that vital goal for them. And then all of a sudden they like him again. But it's like Grella says, we go through so much. The reality of when you're a mature and smart footballer that's well-rounded, you know that your foundation is your family and your close friends, because fans will tell you they love you 1 minute, and next minute they hate you. Like, I've been
that's a fan's prerogative, right?
Yes.
That's why they're fans.
And regardless if you get booed, you have to go and do a job. I was at one club where some of my own fan bases were singing for them to break my leg, and I was the captain of the team. And the fans were singing break my leg. I couldn't just say, I don't want to play no more. I had to go and do a job. And that's it. And if you're secure in the self that you are as a player and the person that you are, you can go anywhere. You could boo me all you want. Because sometimes you could just say, you paid your money to come and boo me. 60, 70,000 people of you are booing me. So, oh, well, you paid your money to come and boo me. Good luck to you. Doesn't bother me. There's still 60,000 of you in this stadium now, and I'm on the pitch.
Alexander-Arnold came on. He got his reception. What did you make of it?
Well, it could be expected, but he was focused and he wanted to be with the team, to be part of it. So, first time.
It's out of the way now. What do you expect from him now moving forward? You want him fit, obviously, and I imagine he wants to get in your team to get not only Real's success, but come back here and play for England.
Well, for sure he has big challenges for him. For sure, it's new experience, step by step. But we are happy that we have him.
Who's that? His agent interviewing him?
We've got a poll, by the way, on whether if you were Trent, you would have left Liverpool. 38% said yes, and 62% of you said no. Are you surprised about those numbers, Nigel? If you were Trent, would you have left Liverpool?
It depends where the poll was done and where these fans are. You know, there's a lot. Listen, let's be real. 9 out of 10 footballers would have left to go to join Real Madrid. That's just me being honest. If people want to live in a la-la land and tell a complete lie, 9 out of 10 players would have left to go Real Madrid. And let's be real, I know people will say this as well, because Troy will know this as well. They bring a lot about, obviously, Stevie Gerrard, that Stevie Gerrard stayed at Liverpool. Stevie Gerrard nearly left Liverpool. And that's out there for people that he nearly left Liverpool. So let's just leave it as it is. He chose a different, what the word am I looking for? He chose a different challenge in life.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
What do you think, Troy, about that poll that we saw? Would you have left if you were him?
I think most people would. I think Nigel hit the nail on the head. Again, for fans to sit at home and say, this is my club, I want to play for my club, I get that. But he's played for his club. He's won everything with his club. There gets a point when you've been the hero for so long that you become the villain. So at some point you need to move away from it. And I just think in this situation, he's gone on to try and better himself. And at the moment, it doesn't look like a good move for him because he's been injured, because he's been on the bench. And obviously, recency bias, they just lost tonight. But I think over the course of the next 3-5 years, he'll turn around and say, I had a great experience. And he'll probably win loads more trophies, play the World Cup with England, and everybody will say how great he was.
Everyone from the beginning of time to the end of time will always make a decision based on what's best for them and best for their family. That is a fact of life, right? So if he felt like that move was best for him and his family, then he made that move. Obviously, also respect to fans that, you know, they spend their hard-earned money to go and support teams, and they can boo if they want. That's totally fine. But the reality of the situation, the true life, real life world, and the world the way it works, you're always going to go where you think is better for you. That's a very rare. Do you see a guy say, no, you know what, I'm going to stay on the sinking ship? It's and not that Liverpool is a sinking ship.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
Slow down, bro.
Hang on a second.
Well, what I'm saying is,
Your
like,
best friend Social just got that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. They already clipped it.
A sinking ship.
That's the only thing you got to be careful. You're new here. Be careful.
He's very upset about Social at the minute.
I love Social, but
Do you?
It's
Their
also
clipping
funny
skill.
for me, right? Because we talk about it, we're sitting there talking about it, and fans obviously would have their opinions, but they're not there in the conversations that happen as a player and an agent when you're at a football club. They have no idea what Liverpool was saying to Trent and what was going to happen or what they wanted to happen, because nothing came out as much. But we've seen it enough in football. If a club gets put in this type of situation and they want that player, they will put it out there where we offered him this and he wants this. Like, they will let it come out in the press. Nothing came out, so we don't know about the conversation. So how do we know that Liverpool were kind of okay, got to the point where they said, okay, you know what, he's not going to stay, we're going to let him go. So for me, it's easy for fans to have this opinion, but how do we know that the club gave him a contract that was worthy of him, that he wanted to stay?
And all of last year, when I was going through Salah, Van Dijk and Trent, when people were asked to talk about who would you keep and prioritise it, I think 99% of people said Salah, Van Dijk, let Trent go. And they got 2 of the 3 done. They probably financially would feel that they couldn't have got all 3 done. Trent moved on. He may have let them know early, I'm leaving. These are conversations that go on behind closed doors. A lot of people are speculating. But if you ask most Liverpool fans this time last year, of the 3 people you needed to get sorted, they'll be happy that they kept the 2 that they did.
It finished in favour of the Reds tonight. Let's take you over to Anfield, where the Champions League winner with Liverpool is standing by for us, Jamie Carragher. Jamie, so good to see you. What a perfect night for you to be at the place you love most tonight.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and I think Liverpool really needed that tonight. There's been a lot of pressure and talk around the manager, the team, the money that's been spent, and rightly so. You'd expect really high standards on the back of winning the Premier League title last season, and we haven't seen the results and the performances that you think, you know, what the expenditure and the team and the quality that they have deserve. But the last 2 performances for Liverpool is what's possibly been the 2 best performances this season. Had 2 great results as well, but the performances bodes well for Liverpool moving forward.
Yeah, just on that, Jamie, obviously a lot been made of Conor Bradley at right back today. Was excellent, shut down Vinicius Jr. I asked the question here to Nigel and the team, why is it a game against Real Madrid, they've raised their level so high? Over the last, 5 or 6 weeks, it's not been at that level. Can you talk to that, obviously played for Liverpool for such a long time?
Yeah, I don't think it's to do with an attitude thing or it's Real Madrid are in time, we're going to turn it on. I just think it's the manager trying to find the right balance with the team, and he's been chopping and changing players. But if you actually look at the team that played against Aston Villa on Saturday night, it was virtually the team that won the league last season with Ekitike up front, and tonight was very similar. I just think he added obviously Florian Wirtz instead of Gakpo, so there was a settled team over 2 games. It was players who have got great familiarity together, as we saw last season, and just adding a little bit of Ekitike and Wirtz tonight. And maybe, not to be critical of the manager, but maybe if he looked back at these first sort of few months of the season, maybe the one criticism could be that he's probably blooded the new signings probably too early and too often within the team. And maybe what we're seeing in these last couple of weeks may have been the way to go earlier in the season, and then just slowly bring the new players in.
Jamie, sticking on Arne's slot, and I know you've been very honest about your beloved Liverpool. Do you think he knows his strongest team yet, or best team?
That's always seen as a criticism of as a manager. He doesn't know his best team, but he knew his best team last season. The reason he doesn't know his best team this season is because the team keep losing. And when you have a lot of options in a big squad and the team keeps losing, you keep looking at something on the bench and thinking, okay, I'll try that, I'll try this team. And that's what continually happens for managers when you're not getting the results. You're trying to find something that you can fall on and say, okay, this is the system that we go with. Now, what he's sort of done in the last couple of games, it almost looks like he's saying, okay, I'm not going to put Florian Wirtz in the centre of the pitch in the number 10 role. That's going to be Szoboszlai like last season. Now, he's brought Florian Wirtz on the left, and I thought he had a really good game tonight. I think it was one of his best games for Liverpool, and I think that might be his role going forward in this Liverpool team, where he's not in the middle of the pitch in that hustle and bustle of the Premier League. He'll maybe get a little bit more space, a little bit more time out wide. And I think if we go back a couple of weeks in the Champions League away in Frankfurt, he played wide right that night, and again had a decent game as well. So I think looking at that might be something that he's looking at now, and we're not far away from his best team. And right now, looking at the team that played against Aston Villa and tonight, it probably looks like, okay, it could be a toss-up between Cody Gakpo and Florian Wirtz on the left, but the rest of the team is picking itself.
Jamie, what did you think of the Trent Alexander booze? Were you surprised by it? Did you think it was too much? We all thought it would be a smaller group, but it seemed like it was louder than we thought.
No, I wasn't surprised, and I don't think Trent would be surprised, if I'm being totally honest. There's obviously a lot of strong feeling in the city around Trent moving, and the feeling is a lot stronger because he's a local boy. I was a local boy playing for Liverpool. I'm playing for Liverpool and living in this city, and to be fair, I don't think Trent does live in the city. I think he just lived on the outskirts, but we live and breathe football every single day. Even though I'm not a player anymore, all we talk about is Liverpool. So it's constant in your face. It's what keeps the city going. So when one of your own moves on and makes a decision that 99% of the supporters look at and think, I wouldn't do that as a player. Now, you might say, well, OK, but you're not a player. You don't know what it's like. But a local player for Liverpool has to embody those supporters. So I know what sort of Trent's going through and sort of the difficulties you can have at different times being a local player. But leaving Liverpool isn't easy. And the one thing I would say about the reaction of the supporters is because throughout the last sort of 10, 15, 20 years, how long Trent's association has been with the club, he's always stated, I'm just a supporter on the pitch. I want to captain the club. I want to be a Liverpool legend. And Liverpool are on the cusp with Arne's slot of winning the title last season, maybe winning the Champions League this season. Why don't you want more of that? And there's also another element as well where I think Liverpool supporters felt let down, was that Trent Alexander-Arnold, I wouldn't say he's a player who divides opinion, because he's a fantastic talent. That's why Real Madrid won him, and that's why he's won so much with Liverpool. But he does get his fair share of criticism about the defensive side of his game. Now, Liverpool supporters feel like for the last 5 or 6 years, they've been going out to bat for Trent. Anyone criticises him, whether it's the media, opposition supporters, pundits from other clubs, the Liverpool supporters being right behind him, fighting his corner constantly. And then he leaves and they almost feel a little bit let down. So, yeah, that's why the reaction is what it is. I hope over time it softens because he's a local lad. He's been a brilliant player for Liverpool. And to actually have the ability to play for the biggest club in the world, in Real Madrid, takes some doing. But as I said, the feeling is really strong right now. So, yeah, totally understand it. I'm sure Trent can as well.
Thanks for watching this video from our Champions Club coverage. For more analysis and for all the games, including EFL, Serie A, as well as the full suite of UEFA club competitions like the Women's Champions League, sign up for Paramount+.